Hi everyone, it's Liz from Crafting with Nawny. How is everybody's Friday going? I am doing good. My cold is finally, I think, deciding to go away. Just gonna bring myself up on my laptop and in case I lose comments. So if you're watching this as a replay, if you could hashtag the replay, I'll go back and the computer lets me know that you watched and I can go back and say hi to you. So I hope that you at least put the hashtag so I know that you watched it. We're going to be working on the Amigos traveling journal. There's 4 of us that are doing this journal and it's going around everywhere. So I'm going to share myself out. We call it kicking out the cow patties around here. So I'm going to kick out my cow patties and then we'll get started. Hey Julie, how are you? Well, let's see if the hearts work. If they work, you'll get hearts, and for some reason the hearts aren't working today, so Julie, you're going to get the hand clap. Thank you for being the first one I see on. And let's see, let me go ahead and get myself out to another couple of places. I know I can go there. And I have one more place I know I can go. So let's get me there. All right. Hey, Sandy, how are you? How's your Friday going? I just went to the post office and delivered out everything that went out yesterday's for the sale we had. If you missed that, I'm just going to take a sip because my throat is still kind of sore from whatever I had, this little cold I had. So how is your day? So I don't know if you've watched any of this. I think Julie has, but this is the journal that we're making. It's going to 3 other people. So it's going to myself, and it's going to Jimmy Lou, it's going to Carrie Hall, and it's going to Lori Thompson. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Betsy. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Hi, hi, hi. And Karen, thank you for coming in. So I made the cover out of, it's kind of like a false, I guess, a naga hide or something. We added these bling blings to the cover. I did add them on the inside because I felt the need to do it. The fabric I got on the inside, I got from Jimmy Lou. She sent it to me. So there's 4 signatures we sewed in. So let me put the camera down so everybody can see what's happening. And so the first signature in this book, from here to here, it's getting kind of chub. This one's my signature. And then this is going to go, I'm going to send mine off to Carrie, which is Hanging with Momma Hall. And this is her signature, and she'll be able to decorate it any way she wants to decorate it. Hi, Julie. Hi, Carol. And then Carrie will send it to Jimmy Lou. And then this is Jimmy Lou's signature. And she can decorate hers any ways that she wants to do it. Hi, Renee. Thank you for coming in. And then Jimmy Lou will send it to Lori. And Lori will add stuff to hers. And then Lori will ship it back to me. So I'll get my book back. And this is a book that we're making that we're all keeping. We're not selling them. This is ours to keep forever and ever and ever. So I put a lot of family stuff into this one. I did put our ranch name on it, but I covered it up because I don't want it on the internet. And I made this little, I think they're called conch. So I made that, and then I put the turquoise, and this is the latch. It came from my iWatch, latch. And so it turned out great. This is my horse, Johnny Thunderpants. So he had to go on the front because he's the important part. So then this is my grandchildren and 2 of my great-grandchildren that live here in Texas. Most of them live on the ranch, but 2. And then this was my aunt and uncle, my great-aunt and my great-uncle. Hi. Says Renee says, beautiful. Thank you so much. So we still have a lot to do. We don't know who this guy is. We think he's my mom's great-grandpa, but I just took these pictures from an album. My sister-in-law sent me a box of my mom's photos that my brother had. And after my brother passed away, she sent them to me. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. So I just been taking those old family photos because I knew I was getting the book back, and I added them in here. But to be truthful with you, there's only a couple people that were alive when I was born. So I only know a couple of them. This was one of my grandma's old buttons. This paper came from Jimmy Lou, so I'm not sure if I really want to do anything with it, but maybe add a little lace because this little goose looks so pretty on it. We can do something on the back. And then we were joking last time, if you watched on Monday, I think it's Monday, my goodness, this week I had a little cold, so this week has gone by crazy for me. But remember I was talking about the Farkle family. My mom had this photo frame that she never took the people's pages out of it, you know, the cover that came in it to show what you're supposed to do. So we always named them the Farkle family because she never took it out. She never put our pictures in it. So I had my husband print me off, and it says the Farkle family reunion of 1909 because I think one of these little babies is my grandma. So and she was born in 1908. So I'm giving it about in 1909. But I think that's kind of funny that because every time we would go into my mom's house, we'd see this picture up there, and then we'd like, people would ask who they were, and we'd say, it's the Farkle family. So this is just something fun for me. And then I have this little tag. This is my little cat, Bobby cat, that we don't let in this craft room. So, hey lady, I'm back. Thank you for coming in, Karen. Everybody's packages that's paid has gone out. I just got back from the post office. So I added these antique buttons for my grandma's button bands. It's just, I'm loving every part of this. This is my grandson, and we added those little trim around it, like I said I wanted to. And then this is our pig, and he's roping, and he actually showed pigs in high school. And this is my horse. This is our bull. And so I just put in, I don't know who these are. And this is what we did last time too. We stenciled on it, and then we put this couple, which I'm sure is a great grandma of somebody's. So I don't know. And then I added my picture, and then I put it through, and you can see it through this tracing paper, and you can see me staring at this cowboy. And I just added some pearls around it because I'm a June baby, so I have pearls, and you know I'm a diamond and flip-flop kind of girl. So, you know, it's like I'm out there working with my diamonds and I wear flip-flops. So, and then one year we did this for Easter, and we made, we took some round bells and we turned it into an Easter bunny. And that's my daughter that we're doing it. So I added that in there. It's just a tuck spot. And this is our ranch, and it's at sunset. So I added that. Sorry about all the banging noises, but, and then this is our turkeys, and I made a little flower there, and basically I did this doily. I loved how it turned out. I just took the doily, I wrapped it around the pages, and then I put this little metal piece, and I clamped that on. I did do a little glue on the edges, but that really, that's just the end of my signature. So I love that. I could, you know, add some more glue and tack it down if I wanted to, but right now I like it kind of flopping back and forth. So I do have a couple pages here I want to get going on. I do too. You know, I was like looking at other people's ephemera and stuff of, you know, where they find these old people. I was like, hey, I got a little box of old people. Let me just use my own. So that's what I did. So I'm just trying to find a place. And then I stenciled around this one just to make it look funky. I didn't put a pocket inside. Normally I do put pockets in, but I did not put one in this time. But I do have, this is our family here on the ranch, and we went to a corn maze, and I just took that picture. I got to print out a couple more pictures to add in. So I want to do a page with that. So I'm not quite sure yet. I just want to find the right page. We need to put something behind the duck because this side is perfect. But this side is just as plain as can be. So can everybody see? Let me move you over just a slight bit that way so you can see the table. Hi, Linda Martin. Thank you for coming. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for coming in. Did I miss it? Hi, Jimmy Lou. Thank you for kicking out them. She flung out the cow patties. Whoa. See, it's much better to kick a cow patty than just have to pick it up with your hand there, Jimmy Lou. So next time, kick it out. You won't have to pick it up. So I got this old book from Becky. She sent me a little package and it had it in there. And I think I'm going to, this is clear gesso. I think I'm going to use that to put it down, and then I'm going to add our family going to the, whatever that was. My mind is already, the corn thing. And we actually made it out because, you know, I'm here. So it did take us about an hour and a half to get out of that corn maze, though. And it was so funny because my daughter's nephew, which I don't know what he is to me. I guess he's really just my daughter's nephew. He had to look it up on his phone, and he found his way out real fast. So I'm hoping that I don't mess this up by adding this liquid gesso, but I think it works pretty good, is what I'm told. Hi, Lori. How are you? I love what you're doing on your book. And you need to take journal classes. Well, you're in the right place. There's a lady that's on the page right now. Her name is Jimmy Lou, and she's from the Messy Craft Corner. And that's where I take my classes from. So, Jimmy Lou, if you're still on, if you want to put a comment next to Magnolia on Madison Creation, so she knows how to find you. Jimmy Lou has all kinds of classes. She has one that's called Bookmakers, which I'm in. She also has a master class, which I'm in. And then she just teaches it almost every day on Facebook. So I don't know if she is still on. She's a pretty busy lady. And I am going to put a little bit of this white gesso over. That's me. Yes. There you go. That's Jimmy Lou right there. I call her Jimmy Lou because that's her name, but it's the Messy Craft Corner. So she teaches a great class. Taught me almost everything I know. And then I kind of mess it up sometimes and go hog wild on her. And she's like, what? Where'd you learn that from, girl? I didn't teach you how to do that. But she is a great teacher. I always tell her sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel like I'm racing when I'm crafting or journaling with her. But she does, I tell her we're taking a speed dating class sometimes. But it's just because she's so used to doing it. And then most of the time people watch it and do it on a replay. And I usually try to craft it, live. So sometimes I'm like, I'm out of breath. But anyways, Jimmy Lou, her name is Karen, and she's from Magnolia on Madison Creations. And she lives in Arkansas, kind of between you. It's the only state that Jimmy Lou apparently hasn't been in is Arkansas. So that's where my family was born. My mom was born in Arkansas. So I am going to take fabric tack and put our picture down with the fabric tack, even though this is still a little wet. Let me actually take the heat tool to it for just a second, because I don't want to ruin the page next to it. And sorry about the noise there. Thank you, Lori, for picking out the cow patty. All right, that gave it a little bit of a head start, and I do have a piece of plastic I will put in over here, just so when we close it up, it doesn't stick to the page next door. But let me go ahead and use fabric tack now to put this piece of cardboard. Did I even distress it? Not really. But I can do it with holding it with the glue. I got some right here, I think. Now that I can't really hold it. So I'm just, I want it sideways, okay? I know I put it down on there sideways because I want it sideways. So, anybody else have any questions or concerns, or how's everybody's weather going? Ours, we're supposed to get rain tonight. It really looked like it was going to rain a little bit earlier, but it's gotten a little bit sunny right now, and it's in the 70s, almost 80. And I'm having a hard time getting this to stay down. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to pop this plastic piece on it just so it doesn't stick to this page, because it will stick for a little bit. So we're just going to do that. Like, this is Jimmy Lou's paper she sells. Isn't it so cute? You can see the really super cute goose. So let's see, where do we want to go next? I kind of wish that would fold that way. Let me just put a, do I have a paper clip on my desk? Of course not. But I have a jar full. Normally I wouldn't do that gesso, but I wanted to see how it would work with that old book paper, because that book paper is really old and brittle. So let's see what we want to do next. I have this page, which also came from Becky, and I thought it was really pretty paper. It's like a brown cardstock, but it's definitely something I would use. So I thought maybe I put this in. I was thinking of using it, and then I was thinking maybe I should just cover back of it like that and have it flip open, and then we can put something in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I just need to find something to put in there, which I haven't decided yet what I want to put in. I do have, this is the lace, kind of like a picture of the lace that I made. And I was thinking that might go cute on there. And I could open it back up. I don't know if I could feed it through. Well, I might be able to feed it through. Oh, that'll work. That will work. So let's do that. And I am going to distress this with a stencil. If I can just get it to cooperate for a few minutes. Let me get my hand over here to help me. Hi, Karen. It's clearing there. Oh, good. Put lace around it. I could put lace around it. Are we still talking about this one? I do have this lace that's sitting on my desk that I forgot to even offer anybody yesterday. And I could put this around it, which would be really cute. Just looking over and seeing what else I have over here. Oh, this might be really cute. Let me see. Let me see. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I do have a couple of these left over because I have them in a save for a whatnot sale. But I can use it because I haven't got the sale going yet. This will look really stinking cute going around that picture, I think, if I can maneuver it enough to go around. And I might do it kind of like that. And I'll slice that one. Yeah, let's just do it. We'll just start gluing, and we might have to cut, and we'll do it. Thank you, Carol, for the... You wanted me to put it on the inside? I should have, but I put a picture of the lace on the inside. So let's, I am going to distress it first, though, just in case you can peek through and see that white. And it is going on that. Let me move this down, because it's brown, and it won't matter. I'm just going to move my little hand out of the way. If anybody knows me, they know I don't like to look at white paper. Causes my head to go crazy. It's like when I go shopping, I can't not stand the lights in a shopping center. It just makes my brain go crazy. So I'm going to do it like that and have it in 4 squares. 4 square. And 7 years ago. Silly me. I told you guys I've had a little bit of a cold. And unfortunately, I am allergic to all antihistamines. So, and that includes my own antihistamine that my body makes. So, it's not good to have a cold. Hi, Penny. How are you? Hi, Sheila. How are you today? Hi, Sandy. How are you? Thank you for coming in. So I'm just going to add some fabric tack around the top. Anytime that you're using fabric tack is a good glue to use. It works great. And I'm going to put it to where you can, it's poking out a little bit on the other side. And let's do it this way. And I'm just trying to get it to where it lines up pretty good. So has everybody got any good plans for this weekend? What's everybody? I have got to go grocery shopping. We're down to nothing in our refrigerator because like I said, I've been sick all week. And I'm a retired respiratory therapist, so I have this really pet peeve about when people are sick and they go out and get everybody else sick. So I mean, sometimes it's necessary to go out, but that's how germs get spilled. That's how germs get spread, because you go to a grocery store and people have been coughing all over your vegetables. So I'm going to put that one there. And I got it from, I do believe, my own great-granddaughter, because we went to the chicken coop to feed the chickens, and she's afraid of the turkeys. So I had to hold her up, and she coughed right in my face. Literally right in my face. And I'm like, ah. So I always, when I was a therapist and I was working ER or whatever, I would say, oh, you're so cute, but you're so deadly. Because they don't think anything of covering their little mouths when they cough, and you go down to listen to them and they just cough all over your face. And I really have been very fortunate in my life. I've only probably had 5 or 6 colds in my entire life. And so I've been very fortunate to not have a really good immune system is what I'm saying. So I don't know why that little cough got me, but it did. So I'm thinking it needs something, it needs one of Grandma's buttons or something. So they're sitting right here. So I'm just going to grab a little handful and we'll see if oh, that's a pretty button, but it's one of them shank buttons. And they really they're beautiful buttons, but it does cause your books to get fat real quick. And I do mean real quick. This one has thread already on it, so that one's good. This one has thread on it already, so that one would be good. So let's do those, and I'll only have to add some thread to that one. Unless I can find another button real quick that has thread on it already. Let me just get another handful. I think I just, oh, there's another one with thread. Okay, sorry, blue button, you're going bye-bye. Oops, I missed one. All right, so let's add, I think I'll just do the 3 down here in the corner. And we'll add the buttons. I think Jamie's going to be on tonight around 7. I'm not 100%. She does have her page has her schedule on it. I know she's been in an event the last couple of days, so her times have been different. So you can check her schedule, or if she pops on. She can tell you herself. So I like that. That looks, now, oops, I just picked that one back up. So you got to be patient and let it dry for a second. That's the only thing with fabric tack. It does take a second for it to grab and hold on. Hi, Judy Moore. How are you? Hi, Mary Ferguson. Hi, Carol. Carol said, put lace around it. Oh, she said put lace inside, but I put it around it. I did put a picture of the lace inside. Okay, so now we're going to take this really pretty paper that I got from a Happy Mail from Becky, from Becky's Whimsy. She sent me a nice box, and it was so sweet of her. And I'm just going to lay that down, and we're just going to glue the back. So this will be like a fold, a flip out, and then I'll go, oh, how pretty. Maybe not in those words, but sort of. You can say sort of. Like I said, this book will be coming back to me. And I can't wait to see what the other three ladies do to it. I just can't. I don't have any rules. I am going to send some of the papers that I had left from putting it in, you know, in case they want to make pockets with it or whatever. But other than that, I have no rules. They can do anything they want to the journal, because I want it to be, you know, about them. And I do have to add some stuff about our state, because Jimmy Lou is like, oh, we need to put something about maybe Texas in here and all that good stuff. And so I haven't done that yet, so I'll have to do that. But I think this is so cute, and it's just going to open up. And this is a spot I can journal on and say, these are my grandma's buttons, and this is the lace I dye. And it probably would have been a whole lot easier had I wrote that before I put it in the book. So, word to yourselves. If you're going to add comments, you might want to write them down first. But I can actually write them on paper and then just glue it on there, which is probably what I'm going to do. So let's, what we want to work on next. So I do think I need to add a little bit more glue right here. And I do need to print out some more pictures of the ranch. So I love that. And I think it's the right side up, yeah. So that's perfect. So, and then we got great-great-grandma somebody. And then I wish I would have thought smart enough when I was putting a map in here to put Texas. But I didn't. So there you go. I didn't think of it until afterwards. So I do want to add some color to this. And I do have a big jar of color stuff, but I can't reach anything. So let's see what I got over here. I do have to stand up to get into this jar. I just have one of those big candy jars, and it's got all the seam bindings and different stuff in it. I do have some Louis, which everybody knows I love Louis, and my daughter loves Louis, and I get her lace. She gets the Louis, and I get the lace from it. Oh, you know what? This is from Two Sister Jam. That'll be perfect right there. Let's put that in there right now. So I'll stick that back in my jar of tricks right there real quick. And this will be so cute added right there. And I was making a couple of these too. And they're fairly easy to make. It's a little bit long. Do I care? No, I don't, because we have an inch on the bottom and an inch on the top to work with. There's Jamie. She's not out. Let's see. No, I am out. So does that mean Jamie's out tonight? Or I think somebody wanted to know, Jamie, if you were going to be on tonight, maybe. I think. I'm not sure. So if you can say, yes, you're going to be on tonight, and what time, that might be helpful. But then again, I'm not sure if that's what they were asking. Questions go by so fast. Let's see if I can look back. Is Jamie still on timeout? I don't think Jamie's in a timeout, Mary. So, Jamie, are you in a timeout? Hi, Jill, how are you? Thank you for coming in. And Judy. That looks pretty. I love that. And I did get a little heavy right there, but that should dry hopefully clear. And I'm going to leave it hang over like that. And that's really all that needed. Just something fun. We have a little envelope here. And the only picture I have left on my desk is my dogs. So we got to find some place to put the dogs. Like, who let the dogs out? And I I put their picture on an envelope to make like a pocket. And I just need to find the right spot to put it. Let's see if this is dry yet. Nope, I can still tell it's wet. And let's put them here. Boy, this gonna be, when this thing gets back from everybody else, I sure hope I might not, there might be only able to close this to the first buckle. Because everybody else is gonna have them. I like them here. Let's see, but I do want to put something behind them. So where's my hand? Where did that hand go? Let's do that. Will it hold? There we go. And inside of my box of tricks from Becky is some music paper, you know, from a player piano. It says Green Tree. Have you ever played a player piano? I've been fortunate enough to say I have. Our neighbor, when I was growing up as a kid, had one. And we would play it all the time when we were kids. So I'm thinking I'm just going to cut a piece of this off, if I can. Whoops, didn't really want to tear it that direction, but oh well. You might want to tear it a little better than I did. But I really am just using it as a background for this. So let me just tear it a little bit more. We're going to go this way with it. I'll put the dogs, who let the dogs out, right there. And stick that under. And then I want to add a little bit more. You know, we're just trying things out right now. I love multimedia. I love, you know, adding layers. That's why my book is already a chub. She's already chubby. I don't know what. Oh, I got some stuff over here from Two Sister Jam. See if we can add a doily or something in here. Like a little bag full of doilies. Goodness, I keep dropping things. I gotta pick them up because I got this little dog that likes to. This is my paper. This is my stuff. I just snuck it down in there so we can put that. And then she does have a doily, so that's kind of cute. That's kind of cutish like that, maybe. What else has she got? Let's see if I can find another doily. Most of these doilies are on the white, but this and that one kind of go together. So we can do something like that. We can put a little button on each one of those. So I'm kind of liking that get up. So let's start gluing. You have a player piano? Oh my goodness, you are lucky, girl. Hi Jamie, how are you? Mary says, no, I wasn't. Mary, you weren't on timeout? Well, that's good. My son gets on timeout all the time. He is always saying something wrong on Facebook, and they're always kicking him off. They ban him, and he has to come up with a new name sometimes. That's just boys for you, right? Okay, so what are we going to start with? We have to lift all of this off, move it over like that, and we're going to start with this piece. And it seems like it's silky on both sides. So we're just going to run some glue And the glue I'm using is Art Glitter Glue. Has no glitter in it whatsoever. Not even sure how I got the name, but maybe it was originally made to put glitter on something. I have no idea. I don't play with glitter very often, like almost never. I know Jamie picked up some glitter and I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't put that in my box. Hi, Debbie, how are you? How are you? How are you today? All right, so that's kind of neat. I kind of wish I knew what the song was about, but I don't. And then I think we're going to put this piece down. And I'm going to put the squared edge on the inside where we won't see it as much. And this is like a mullen paper. It has all kinds of fibers in it. It's one of my favorite papers. It does not cut on a cutting, you know, like a cutting board or a scoreboard very good at all. Because it gets those fibers and it just zips and zags and all that good stuff. So I do like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of my stuff here. Now that's fabric, and it's kind of going on a fabric, so we're going to use some fabric tack. We'll just put a little bit here and there. And you know, fabric tack, fabric fix, and fabric, or Beacon 3-in-1, they're all from Beacon. They're all three a different formula. They all pretty much do about the same stuff, but they are all three a different formula. I'm trying to see if I want to put this on. I think we'll be okay using the fabric tack for this pocket. I do know fabric tack and fabric fix are very, very similar. Because we make rhinestone jackets for my daughter's store. She has a children's boutique store in town, and I do the rhinestones on the jackets. And sometimes she'll buy the fabric tack, and then sometimes we can't find it, and she'll get fabric fix. And I can't really tell the difference using it on the jackets. And they both seem to work good. And actually reading the labels, you really can't see any difference on the label. So I think I like that there and that there. Or I'm wondering if I want to put one down here, and then we can add that third one up here. Everything in threes. This one's a much softer one. I don't know. I never know when to stop. Sometimes it's always like, is that enough? Everybody says, yes, that's enough. Hi, Penny. Hi, Angela. Thank you for coming in and watching today. How are you? How is your Friday? Anybody got plans? We're supposed to get rain tonight. We're literally supposed to get rain. And I hope we do, because in Texas, where the ranch is, it needs some rain. All of the tanks are getting really super, super, super low. And a tank in Texas is like a pond. They just call them tanks out here if they've been man-made. So I'm going to put that one there. And then we're going to add buttons to these doilies to put a little bit of color back in. So let me glue that lid up there. Now I'll reach back into Grandma's button box here. and we'll see what we can pull out. Grandma's button box. I just love looking at all of the strange buttons from back in the day. I mean, like the pearl ones with the, that looks so pretty on that one. When I was a kid, I literally would just play in her button box for hours and hours and hours. And I do need to print a picture of my grandma, because we talk about her. My grandma's sister is that lady. But for some reason, I don't have a picture of my grandma on here. So I got to go find a picture of my grandma and put it in. But I will. This button, look at this button. It has like a black ring around it. Can you see that? Isn't that weird? It's so weird. It's so weird. It needs to go in the book. All right, I think those are the buttons. Do I wish they all had thread in them? Yeah. All right, let's do this. That one has thread. And we'll save this one until we find out what it's about. Look at this. She didn't have a little droplet. She didn't have a screw in her button box. A bent screw at that. Why would a grandma? Well, I am a grandma. So I am a great grandma. She was a great grandma. I can't believe I'm her generation now. It baffles the darn out of me that I am now her generation. This says sports. But she had a bent screw in her button box, so now I have a bent screw in my button box, because she must have had it in there for a reason, right? So why would I take it out? So that one is a naked button. I know. I could throw a little bit of lace, a little bit of string on the top of it. And if you get these little strings from your glue like that, you can take your heat tool and it'll take them right off. But we do have a snippet of little string right here. We could, they all have, what was I, oh, this one didn't have any. Wait a minute, they all have it. So I can just literally put a little bit underneath that one, and it'll look like the string fell out. Like I need to sew that back on. There's Becky. I'm using some of the stuff you sent me. You had a small light bulb. See, it's crazy. Yep, I have a piece of chalk from her too, and a screw, and she just had everything in her button box. So we used your music note right here that you sent me. And I did use, I don't know if you were on this whole time or when you jumped on, but I used another piece from you. I used that card a minute ago, and we made this with the flip out from you. So we've been playing with the stuff you sent. So let me see at my time. We still have 15 minutes. What am I going to do? I'm not, okay. So this is part of Grandma's tablecloth that I cut up. I finally did it. I cut Grandma's tablecloth up, and I did send out some of it to you guys. So let me get that out of the way. And we're going to find a place to put Grandma's tablecloth. And I'm not sure where Grandma's tablecloth, but I will get a picture of my grandma and print it out, and I'm going to put it on top of her tablecloth. I just need to print it. So I just have to find a neat paper page to put Grandma's. How about here? That's a spot. We got this great big white page right here. That's kind of covering that. I got this page. Really only have a couple more pages left in this journal. That page. So I guess, and there's another one of that duck page. So we could, I already decorated this side. Grandma's tablecloth is pink. Let's just do it on this stark white paper. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip and rip. Snip and rip some more. So I'm just going to, oh, it does not sound great when it rips like that. Oh my goodness. When I was a kid, we had every holiday almost on this tablecloth. And all of us grandchildren destroyed it. So that's why I'm ripping it up, because it had stains on it from all of us. as we all grew up. I was hoping I could get, I guess I could, no, I can't. So I'm going to do it right at this snip right here, I think. And we'll save that pink for another spot in the journal. But I have loved this tablecloth, but it has splotches and stains, and it's so soft though. I mean, it's like having your grandma wrap her arms around you again, you know? And she's been gone a long time, but she's in my mind almost every day. She went by Nan. She was my nanny. My nanny. And I think I have to snip it. Now let's see if she's going to rip this way too. Oh, she does. And I love all those little threads that are coming off. And we can make that like a little pocket too. So I'm going to plaster this down here. And then I'm going to get a picture of my grandma and I'll put her there. And I haven't decided, do I want to put a picture of her young or do I want to put her a picture of her, you know, in her 80s when she passed away. My grandma passed away on the 4th of July eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream. She had a massive heart attack with my uncle. They had finally put her in a, like a senior home, you know, kind of deal where she had to go down. She used to call it prison. She hated it. She hated it so much. She was living with my mom at the time before in Las Vegas. And I went there because I was the only grandchild that really was close to her, you know, kind of deal. All the other grandkids, you know, knew her, but they weren't close to her. I mean, we shared a bedroom for a little while when I was a little kid. And so I was very close with her. And she... So when they decided that they were going to put her in one of those, it's not a convalescent hospital, it's just, you know, a senior thing where they have, you know, people looking in on her every day. And she had like a little apartment. But I'm trying to say this without getting kicked off of Facebook. I got to use my words correctly. So I was in her bedroom at my mom's, and she was sitting on the side of her bed, and she was old school. I mean, my grandma had a coffee can still sitting on the side of her bed, you know. She's old school Arkansas lady, you know. And if you ever had one of those grandmas, you know what that coffee can was used for. So, anyways, we're sitting there, and she goes, "Get my GUN out of the closet." And I said, "Get your what?" And then she repeated it. And I said, "What for?" And she goes, "'Cause them son of a guns think I'm going with them. They're nuts." You know, and she was referring to her sons. I'm like, going, I'm not going to do that. So I just had to pack her up. And they took her by, because she was in Las Vegas, and they had to get her to Oregon. They rented a motorhome, and they took her by motorhome. But boy, she was not happy. And I would call her every week, and she would say, "I'm in prison. They make me go down and have lunch every day." I'm like, oh my gosh. So we're gonna put a picture of her there. But like I said, she ended up passing away on the 4th of July, watching the fireworks with my uncle eating Ben & Jerry's, and she had a heart attack. So. But I love her to death, and she gave me nothing but joy. And so let's see. We could add this little bit of pink just to round off this side of the page. But I'm sure everybody has great stories of their grandma. Well, hers wasn't a spit can. Hers was for something else. She still remembered having to go outside to the outhouse kind of deal, and she wasn't going to do it. So she had her can next to her bed. And I'm like, going, the bathroom is literally just around the corner. I think I'm going to do it on this page instead. But I don't know. All my life, you know, as a kid growing up, she used to, she was a chef, and she worked in Yellowstone National Park, and she also worked at the Longhorn Ranch in, I think it's New Mexico, or it could be Arizona. I can't remember. I was a little kid. Anyways, so she would go there, and she was a chef, and we would go with her as kids in her little, she had one of those little teardrop trailers that she lived in while she was working the seasons, and we would go and stay with her in her little teardrop. But when we were traveling, she'd put a can in the back seat, and we'd say, we have to stop and go potty, and she'd go, here's your can. And then we'd go potty in the can. She'd roll the window down, throw it out, you know. She was old school, I'm telling you. But that was probably too much information though, huh? Okay, so what else do we want to do in this book? I still have 10 minutes, and I don't have any more ephemera. Got to do something here. I do have some coffee stained paper, or not coffee stained, red dirt paper I was making from used stuff. So maybe we can just put some of that down in the center of this, and then I can add another picture to it when I get it printed. So I think that will be fun. And it was just wrinkled up, and I'm going to wrinkle it up a little bit more. Hi, Estella. Thank you for coming in. You just had a small earthquake? Gosh, and not even in California. I can't, you know, I lived in California so long that I can't feel them unless they're over like 4 point something or 5 point, because they were so common in California. But I hope everything is okay. So I'm just using this vintage photo. So I'm just kind of putting that on there so you can really see those cracks and crevices and stuff. And that might be cute. Oh, there we are. I'm like, my husband's sucking up all the internet. So let's see if anybody stayed. We're almost finished, so I can actually get off. Thank you. Moments by Celeste. Thank you so much, Becky. You get them often? Wow. Hi, Carol. It's a lot of earthquakes lately, I know. Even in South Carolina, I didn't know they were on the East Coast, or that part. You know, being raised in California my whole life, I really don't know. You know, I've only lived in 3 states. No, 4. I guess technically we had a house in Arizona, or we had a trailer in Arizona. But I've lived in California. I've lived in Texas now twice. I lived in Nevada, and I lived in California. So those 4 states. I'm just going to put that. Like I said, I will put a picture on here eventually. So,